A tribute to Winona Ryder, the intergenerational it girl.
Orange beetle juice?
Since the late 80s, Winona Ryder has charmed our screens and our hearts. Let's take a look into the star with enough star power to be a household name for over 3 decades. By Grace Smith. Early roots. Horowitz born, commune raised. In 1971, Winona Ryder, actually Winona Laura Horowitz, was born to 2 author parents in the town of her namesake, Winona, Minnesota. Her parents, Michael and Cynthia Horowitz, were friends of well-known beatnik literary figures like the psychedelic-specialist Timothy Leary, Ryder's godfather, Allen Ginsberg, and Philip K.
I didn't think about, is this going to make me famous?
In keeping with the theme of enlightenment, Ryder's family would relocate to a large plot of land housing 7 other families whenever she was just 7 years old. Within this commune-like living environment, Ryder would grow up without television, instead spending her time reading, socializing with the other kids, and playing outside. When she was 10 years old, the family moved off of the plot of land to another small California town called Petaluma. Here, Ryder would suffer from verbal and physical bullying for her boyish appearance. The silver lining of this period would be her enrollment at the American Conservatory Theater, where she would finally be introduced to acting. Only 4 years after joining the ACT in 1987, she would earn a starring role in the drama film Square Dance, alongside the highly respected late actor Jason Robards. A decade-spanning filmography.
Dear Diary, my teen angst has a body count.
Ryder's true breakout role would be that of the quintessential gothic teen, Lydia, in Tim Burton's horror comedy film Beetlejuice, holding her own alongside already established stars like Gina Davis, Alec Baldwin, and Michael Keaton. That unique brand of youthful misanthropy, expressed through her signature doe-eyed, deadpan fashion, would captivate audiences, and only 2 years later, she would land the starring role of Veronica in the cult classic black teen comedy movie Heathers.
Heather told me she teaches people real life.
Everyone knows that you can't mention Winona without mentioning Heathers. As a dark-haired contrast to the blueprint of this Mean Girls-esque band of Heathers, Ryder is a black sheep who finds herself among the in crowd. After the odd and enigmatic Christian Slater transfers to her high school, things take a turn for the macabre. From the very beginning, her affinity for the strange and unusual is quite clear. These 2 incredibly iconic roles would cap off the 80s and lead our star into a brand new decade of superstardom, probably the most memorable of Ryder's career.
Technically, I did not kill Heather Chandler, but hey, who am I trying to kid, right?
In 1990, Ryder would showcase the lighter, more vulnerable persona of the ginger-haired teen Kim in another Tim Burton film, Edward Scissorhands, opposite the sensitive, angst-ridden performance of then-boyfriend Johnny Depp. The same year, she would feature in the family comedy drama film Mermaids with pop star Cher and child star Christina Ricci. As another notch in her belt as the endearing, rebellious protagonist of a character drama, Ryder acts as the warm center for each of these decade-starting films and shows range beyond even the darker projects that marked her debut.
He is never coming back, is he?
No.
The early to mid-90s would mark a high period for Ryder, with 2 consecutive Oscar nominations for the Martin Scorsese-directed The Age of Innocence, 1994, and literary adaptation of Little Women, 1995, respectively. Though both of these awards would end up in the hands of other actresses that night, an Oscar nomination would bridge the gap between her blockbuster sweetheart persona and the potential for real professional recognition. In 1999, Ryder would star in the cult classic psychological drama Girl Interrupted, alongside Angelina Jolie, who would earn a well-deserved Oscar for her supporting performance.
Yeah, and another one of my theories is that you people don't know what you're doing.
Though Ryder would be snubbed from an Academy Award nomination herself, her subdued and complex performance as the troubled Susanna is immortalized as a gentler contrast to the pure hardness of Jolie in this multi-dimensional, female-heavy project.
I'm playing the villain, baby. Just like you want.
The short hiatus and expected comeback of a beloved starlet. In early 2001, Ryder's career would stall due to a run-in with the law enforcement in which she was accused of shoplifting over $5,000 of designer merchandise at a Saks Fifth Avenue store. Fortunately, Ryder would not serve any jail time. Instead, she was sentenced to over 400 hours of community service, over $10,000 in fines and restitution, and psychological substance abuse counseling. This would mark the beginning of a 4-year hiatus of new films for the actress as she sorted out these issues and survived the media frenzy which surrounded her. Not even Winona Ryder is safe from the career-altering effects of a run-in with the law.
What if this is a dream?
In 2006, the starlet's career would pick back up, following a 4-year hiatus as a result of these previous legal issues. Though there were a few already produced films that released during this time, her real return to form began with a small film titled The Darwin Awards, where she played an insurance case specialist starring alongside Joseph Fiennes. In the same year, she also appeared in the half-animated dystopian Richard Linklater film A Scanner Darkly, along with a host of other cinematic greats like Keanu Reeves, Robert Downey Jr., and Woody Harrelson.
Please come back.
In 2010, she would also have a meaningful supporting role in the psychological thriller Black Swan, as the fittingly symbolic Dying Swan, directed by Darren Aronofsky. In the past 5 years, Ryder has experienced a resurgence in the media spotlight, for more positive reasons now, due to her role in the nostalgia-fest sci-fi series Stranger Things. As the grief-stricken mother of Will, a child who goes missing in a small Indiana town, she teams up with David Harbour, Joe Keery, and a host of other new young stars in an effort to bring Will back.
Right here. I don't know what that means.
With the show currently in production for a 4th season, we can be sure that Ryder will reprise her memorable role as Will's tender but tough single mother. An it girl we'll never forget. As with most young stars, Ryder's film appearances would parallel a rich social life, associated with no shortage of notable figures like Johnny Depp, Matt Damon, and briefly, David Duchovny.
What actually happened was really simple.
Despite her attachment to these extremely well-known men, Ryder's career has always thrived beneath the strength of her own performances. Her artistic reputation was never sacrificed in favor of capitalizing on these popular romances, something that can be unfortunately common for both male and female performers alike. When you consider the ever-accelerated speed of our cultural zeitgeist, you realize how difficult it is to truly be remembered. In a world where anyone and everyone can be memorialized, true icons are becoming few and far between.
And to think there was a time when I actually thought you were cool.
Winona Ryder has transcended the barriers of the typical celebrity public image, a budding starlet of the 80s, our brooding it girl of the 90s, still an icon of nostalgia in the 2000s, and now a figure that is beloved by generations of movie lovers. Even if Ryder never did another film, she would still be mentioned in discussions of iconic actresses for numerous years to come. It goes without saying that Winona Ryder's career is far from over. While there are no films slated for the star as of right now, she's never more than an arm's length away from our minds and our hearts.